What's up, everybody? I'm Josh Gerlach here with the 2023 Knoxville Pro Sprint Series champion and current 360 and 410 weekly competitor Kade Higday, and one of the voices at the sprint car capital of the world, Blake Walker. And this is Knoxville Nights. It's a brand new podcast focused on all of the racing action at the Knoxville Raceway. We're going to have new episodes drop every Monday during the racing season, so make sure you follow us at Knoxville Nights on Facebook and Instagram, at Knoxville Nights with no O on Twitter or X, and search for Knoxville Nights on YouTube for the video version of this show, and on Apple Podcasts and Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. The 2025 season kicks off with the greatest show on dirt this weekend for a Friday-Saturday doubleheader. We'll give our thoughts on David Gravel's hot start to the season, Kade's plans for 2025, and a whole lot more. After that, we'll be joined in the back half by former Knoxville Raceway weekly competitor turned World of Outlaws Rookie of the Year contender Garet Williamson. We'll discuss the start of his sprint car career, how it is to move from regional competition back to the national scene with the World of Outlaws, and what it'll be like coming back to Knoxville for the first time as an outlaw. It's enough for me. We'll kick it over to you, Blake, and kind of dive into what's going on with Kade this year.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Josh. I'm excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think this is going to be something that people look forward to. We got Kade with us, which is great. Kade's going to add a lot of insight here as the season goes on, good or bad. We hope he has good results, or it's going to be a short podcast that same day. Kade, first of all, thanks for doing this all summer long. Some people might think of you, Kade, and think he probably doesn't talk that much. And then once they kind of get to know you, it might be a little bit different. But 2025, man, quickly touch on 2024. Obviously graduated, went to the 360s a little bit. Talk about 2024 here before we talk about 2025. What were your thoughts on last year?
2024 got started off pretty decent, I think. I mean, we kind of struggled at the beginning, and first night we tore our car apart because we didn't like the way it was working for us, and went to another one, so we had to relearn everything again. And I mean, we got going good there towards about the middle of the season, and then just kept that momentum going towards the end of the year. And I mean, ended up fifth in the points, which wasn't bad for us, and hoping we can do better this year.
So 2025, you're going to try to do the double here this year. A lot of drivers, try to do the double. Matt Morrow is going to do the triple, so that'll be fun. Good luck, Matt Morrow. We're all rooting for you. Yeah. So talk about 2025. What are your expectations? What are goals that you've set here for 2025? Because obviously you have a season to build off for 360, but the 410, you've run a 410 once at Knoxville?
The 3 nights at Nationals. That was it.
3 nights at Nationals.
Well, we ran the last night at championship night at 2023, but that got cut short very quickly.
Right. So yeah, talk about this year. What are goals you got? What do you expect here for this year?
As far as the 360 goes, I think a realistic goal for us is like top 2, top 3 in points. Obviously, we want to win the championship, but that takes a lot of really, really, really good nights, and nothing bad can happen to you at all. I would say my personal goal is to have at least 2 wins for the year. And then the 410 is pretty much just go get solid laps and learn how to race with the absolute best of them. I mean, you're losing Reitzel and McCarl every week, but you still have some really fast guys that come here every single week. And I mean, it's going to show how tough our fifth on back competition is every single week, just because, I mean, the top 2 guys are gone, but yeah, it's going to be tough still. There's nothing easy about running a 410 at Knoxville at all. And I mean, it's tough to say how good we'll do. We won't know until we get kind of on our feet and get rolling, but hopefully it goes well and we put together some good runs and just kind of build momentum onto next year and hopefully run the point deal in that.
You start with the Outlaws in week 1. I mean, that's no joke.
Pretty easy way to jump right in, I'd say.
Chance to get your, there's no better place to possibly get your first Outlaws start. I mean, feature start. Yeah, what's that like? That's it. I mean, you can't get any better than that, obviously, at the Nationals, but you jump right in. And I assume, are you guys going to be using the practice night on the 17th?
Yeah, we will. Thank God.
So that'll give you a little bit of a feeling. But, what do you expect? 2 nights, I mean, car count wise, we'll talk about it a little bit. I think there will be more than 55, almost 60. I could see more than 60 possibly.
I think you're right on that.
So what do you expect week one? What do you
I don't-
want to have happen week one?
I want to at least make the show both nights. That'd be pretty cool. I mean, new team, only like my 4th or 5th race in a 410. I feel like that would be a pretty good stepping stone to build off of going into the weekly season. Yeah. And I realistically, just to even start the A main both nights would be a huge feat to beat for us, and hopefully it happens.
I think that's the biggest one, and I've asked this to some drivers, and obviously the engine is the biggest thing, but is it difficult jumping back and forth between the 360 and the 410 in the night, or is it, obviously it's not a 305 pro sprint, but kind of give the people listening just a little bit of a feel of what is different. Do you have to change anything?
And if I could add to that too, Blake, who are you driving for? Because this is not your normal 24 car that you're going to be in too, right?
No, we're going to be in the Mike Vanderecken number 10. This is 36 years that he's been owning a 410 sprint car, so that's pretty cool.
It's a fast car.
It is too.
So 360, 410, what do you think? What's the biggest difference, would you say, besides the engine? Do you have to change anything?
I mean, you set them up a little bit different just because you're going an extra 10 to 20 miles an hour faster here. Aside from that, they don't really feel that much different. The straightaways are definitely a little bit shorter in the 410, but other than that, I mean, I think the 410 drives easier just because you have the wing speed and you can kind of manipulate the car to do what you want. Dirty air is obviously huge in the 410. It's getting to be pretty big in the 360s anymore too. I mean, you get up behind a guy and you're going to plug it directly in the fence if you're up there. Yeah. But that's the biggest thing, I think, is the dirty air and just trying to keep your car out of it and being able to kind of manipulate your race car to where you can run through the middle if you have to, and you can slide guys, you can cut across and go from the top to the bottom, and just you got to be able to put your car anywhere to be any sort of good against the best dudes in sprint car racing.
Right. We haven't raced in April in forever. I mean, it has literally been years since we have raced in April. Dirt's the same as last year, from what I've been told. Obviously, last year was a little bit of newer dirt. You expect anything different? It's not going to be warm by any means. I mean, Futurecast looks like maybe 60s, low 70s, but 60s, and then it drops down to maybe the 50s in the night. Does that change anything? Obviously, we've raced in humid nights at Knoxville last year, especially. We luckily avoided rain every single week except those first 2 weeks. Do you expect the track to be a little bit different than what we see in June shows for 410s? Granted, obviously, you haven't been to a 410 a ton, but do you see it being any different?
I don't know. It's hard to say. We've got one of the damn best track crews in the world. I've seen them have slick tracks the first night, and it's clear up to the fence, and it doesn't lay rubber. And then there's other nights that they get beat by the humidity, and there's really nothing they can do about it. And we get a decent 2-lane racetrack, but I mean, it's really fast. So it's hard to say right now. I mean, we'll know once we start racing and get qualified and see kind of what the track's doing. But these guys are so good at working on the racetrack that they can do whatever they want to.
Wade had a great interview with Chris Duncan. If anyone listening wants to go check it out, it's on the Knoxville Raceway Facebook page, and that was last week. And Duncan gave a great insight into all that, so worth the listen to anybody if you wanted to listen to it.
What's the mindset like, Kade? Is it any different from when you've ran the 410 at Nationals? I know obviously it's not the Knoxville Nationals this weekend, but it's still the Outlaws. We're probably going to have a lot of high limit guys there, I'm assuming, as well this weekend. So does that a mindset shift at all?
Not really. I feel like I'm kind of a guy that just takes it's just a race. Obviously, I show up to the racetrack to do my job and do the best that I can. So, I mean, it doesn't matter if there's 15 cars there or there's 60 of them. I'm going to race the same way and just drive my ass off and hope for the best.
Yeah. Makes sense.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch. We're excited to watch you.
Definitely.
All right, boys. Let's talk about the Outlaws while we're at it. Outlaw season looks like this as of the points on March 28th. It's been a while since they've raced here. They got winded out. also here recently. David Gravel leads the point standings by 78 points over Carson Macedo. Logan Schuchart is in third, 88 points back. Buddy Kofoid is fourth, 106 points back. And Sheldon Hodenshield is 166 points back in fifth. Then Donnie Schatz, Gio Scelzi, Bill Baylog, Chris Wyndham, and Garet Williamson, who will be joining the show, sits in the 10th spot. We'll talk to Garet about all that in a little bit. All three of us watch pretty much any sprint car racing we can here the first couple weeks of the year. Let's talk about David Gravel. The man out of Watertown, Connecticut, has been unbelievable to start the year. We knew this was probably going to happen based off of last year. Was very strong last year. Little bit of competition late. Macedo and Schuchart made things interesting. Gravel's able to come away with the championship. And this year, I just don't know if anyone's going to top him. He's on one. He's won 5 out of the last 9 World of Outlaws races. He hasn't finished outside the top 5 all season. And I don't know about you guys, but if you watch qualifying, you just know it's going to be David Gravel. It's literally everything. I mean, and it's unbelievable to watch. Kade, from a driver's perspective, engine is a lot. We get that. And the horsepower that you have is huge. But David Gravel is an unbelievable race car driver. And now that Brad Sweet has moved on and gone to the high limit series, it's like David Gravel is the man in the World of Outlaws. Am I right?
Absolutely. Motor only makes so much difference on a short track too, especially when you spin out in qualifying on your first lap. And then still come back and just go quick time. I don't know how he kept his head together and just put down a solid lap and went quick time like that, but that tells you just how good that guy is.
Josh?
And he even showed last year at Nationals too. He didn't have a great, start to his week and was really charging there. And I mean, we haven't had a 20 race winner in an Outlaw season or a National Touring Series season in a while. And I mean, I don't know how you can say that he isn't going to be knocking on that door. I mean, like you just ran down the points. There's really only a couple guys that are within striking range, and we're barely into the season.
Yeah.
The way that those guys have looked, they make it look easy out there, and we all know that it's not. I don't know who's gonna stop him. And Kade, I know it's apples to oranges a little bit here, but you kind of went on stretches like that in the 305. What's that do for like your confidence when you probably show up feeling like you're unbeatable and you haven't even hit the racetrack yet?
I think a lot of it is you kind of just got to get rolling. Once you get that confidence and you just start winning races, it's just like David's doing right now. You just cannot be stopped. And his bad nights, he's still running top 5.
Yeah.
Other people's bad nights, they're either crashing or running 15th or whatever, and he doesn't seem to miss.
And I think the most interesting part of the night is because he's making the dash almost every time. It's where his pill draw is. And the other night, or a couple weeks ago, he draws the 8, and the whole crowd just goes wild because they're like, "Oh my gosh!" If he gets a top 4 pill draw, heck, even 1 or 2, you're like, "It's over, night's over." David Gravel's winning. Not many people, if anyone, I'd have to go back. I don't think anyone has passed him, as he started up front to win the race. He's had challengers. Buddy Kofoid has gotten better here the last couple weeks. Let's talk about Carson Macedo. Macedo in the histories the last couple seasons has gotten better as the season has gone on. Has a good stretch where it comes to summer. Is really good in the summer Knoxville races. We'll talk about that in a little bit. 13 starts for Macedo, 1 win, 8 top 5s, 13 top 10s, 1 finish outside of 8th. Wins are going to have to start coming Carson Macedo's way, though, because Gravel's winning and Carson Macedo just not quite there yet, but a big opportunity here at Knoxville, wouldn't you guys say?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that car is always super fast whenever they unload at Knoxville. And I honestly thought after they won that non-points race at Volusia with his leg all gimped up, I thought these boys are in trouble. And I don't know what they're missing on, but they just got to find that little edge just to even compete with Gravel. But if they find that little edge, they're going to find a little bit more, and you're going to have a hell of a shakedown coming whenever they get done, August or October, November.
November.
Yeah, November.
This is a long season.
It's crazy. And you can never bet against a dude turning the wrenches that has multiple national championships as well with Phil Dietz. So they struggled a little bit. I can't recall if it was last year. I think it was last year when they came to town before the Nationals. But yeah, again, can't bet against those guys. They're always good there. He's won, I believe he's won at Knoxville before recently too. So
yeah, he did. One with the flames on his car. Because
it was after the fire
earlier in the year, and he won
Yeah.
one of the prelim nights.
Yep.
It'll be fun to watch him. Another one
there's a shark in the water. I think he might be leading to that.
Yeah. Speaking of sharks, Logan Schuchart is having a sneaky good start to the season. 13 starts, 12 top 10s, 8 top 5s. It's an average finish of 4.6. One finish out of the top 8, which was at Volusia. But Kade, he just can't win, man. Like, he's so close. And the thing about Shark Racing, a lot of people usually think bigger tracks. That's where Shark Racing obviously won the Eldora Million. Him and Jacob Allen get the wins at Knoxville, the prelim nights a couple years ago. Logan's been good at Knoxville, but Kade, even though we're still early in the season, it's got to be digging at him a little bit. Just like, we got to get that win, and it feels like if he gets that win, they're set. Who knows what happens next?
Yeah, absolutely, and that goes back to the whole confidence thing, where once they get one, his confidence will boost, and they'll be even more of a contender. But it's it's hard to. I don't even know what they're struggling with right now. Same as Macedo. Like, they're both really high quality race teams that should be performing like gravel is. They're just missing a little bit of something. Both teams are. And like I said, once they find it, we're going to have a battle for the ages.
And that's crazy. They're missing on something. And Logan's averaged a top 5 finish so far to start the season. And
yeah,
like
but
you said,
you got to beat the 2 car.
Yeah, exactly. It does nothing if you're finishing behind the 2 every night. You're going to lose points. Which is crazy to think you could average, finish in 4.6 or whatever it is against the Outlaws and be losing points each night.
Yeah.
I just
tough business.
Insane how that's worked out. We're going to do a weekly segment. I threw it in last minute this afternoon. This is my Blake's trivia for the boys. So each week I'm going to give you guys a trivia question, and we're going to see if you can get it. I like digging into the stats stuff. So I was looking at starting position at the Knoxville Raceway. This kind of goes into my whole thing when we pick our dark horses and our favorites. Starting position to win Knoxville Outlaw races. So just Outlaw races. That includes Knoxville Nationals prelim nights. What do you guys think? I'll take a guess from each of you. What was the lowest starting position to win a Knoxville Outlaw race since 2020? When they came back from racing in 2020, what was the lowest starting position to win a Knoxville Outlaw race?
And you said it did include or does not include the Nationals prelims?
It includes Nationals prelims, includes Nationals, and then all the other Outlaw races.
I'm just going to throw a random guess at a 6.
A 6?
Yeah.
No.
I was going to go like 17.
17?
Yeah.
I thought it was the lowest number.
Or like, what am I trying to say?
The worst starting position.
Yeah, lowest starting position. So like
furthest back in the field.
Yeah, furthest back.
I got you.
I know Donnie started like 20th or something
or
before 2020 though, when he won the Nationals. One of those times.
6, Kade, or wait?
I'll go like I'll go 9.
9. Josh, sticking with 17.
Yep, screw it.
Kade was closest. It was 10th. 10th was the farthest back anyone has started. That was Kyle Larson, August 13th, 2020, during the Nationals. And it's crazy because actually going back to it, since 2020, the average starting position of Knoxville Outlaw winners, including prelim nights and Nationals, was 3rd. And I was able to kind of go through and see the actual numbers of it. So in 30 races since 2020, whoever started first has won 10 times. Whoever started second has won 5 times. Whoever started third has won 5 times. Whoever started fourth has won 4 times. Nobody since the turn of, what do you call it? Century? Decade? Whatever. Since 2020, nobody from 5th has ever won. So when you're betting this week, don't pick the guy that starts 5th. Just a heads up. 6th has won 4 times. So that's kind of weirder that 5th has never won. 7th won once, and then Kyle Larson won once from 10th. And it's a given. I mean, you just said it. Clean air, Kade, is king. And at Knoxville, you get that front row starting spot, and you're so set up as long as you can get through lap traffic or if cautions fall right.
Yep. That's the hardest thing too. Like you can think you set your car up right, and then once you get to lap traffic and you do get in the dirty air, you can be total garbage. I've done it a million times. If I was as good in dirty air as I was in clean air, I would never lose a race from the front row, but it doesn't work like that.
Sounds like a typical driver right there.
That's right.
And it can catch anybody off guard. I mean, we've seen it. It can catch anybody off guard. So something to keep an eye out for. So what do you think? We've got our picks down. I can see y'all's, but we can explain them a little bit if we want. We got our picks to win. Josh and I gave 2 because both nights, so we're like, sure. Kade gave 1, so I guess we know what Cade's thinking. And then we have our dark horses. So Josh, who do you got, man? Who's going to win?
Well, I'll give Cade's pick away too. We really went out on a limb here and chose the number 2, David Gravel. I think Kade, you must be having him sweep the weekend. But I have someone else that we haven't talked about here who's won a couple races over the last few years at Knoxville in the 360 and 410, and that's Aaron Reitzel. He has been seemingly the guy to compete with Brad Sweet with high limit so far. And after you have a rock try to actually break your nose, and you come back and win the next week and look as good as he has all year, I think he could be a pretty motivated guy that wants to come to Knoxville and beat the Outlaws. He's with high limit now, so he wants to come and beat the Outlaws. And those are the 2 guys I got.
Imagine if he didn't miss that race, because isn't he technically like a race behind points? He's still 3rd in points. He's still 3rd in high limit points.
Yeah,
he's 76 back, but he'd be right there. I mean, almost to the lead of the high limit standings.
I did see they posted, or Aaron posted, they had a part failure that night. He got hit in the face anyway, so they would have DNF'd either way.
Yeah, Sanders, because I think Sanders took it out and blew up. I don't even remember if it was before the race started or if they went green and then it was over for him too.
You remember that.
But he's only 7. I know this is not a high limit weekend, but he's still only 77 points out after missing a race. That could be a pretty exciting season over there too.
And obviously, for people that don't know, obviously it's an outlaw weekend. High limit people won't be competing for points. They have taken that weekend off. I think they're off this or the last week at Peevely. So, just something to think about.
Should be a big field.
Kade, you took gravel, or go ahead.
Oh, I was going to throw it to you. We've said a lot about gravel. Do you have anything else you want to say?
Kade, you got anything else you want to say about David Gravel?
I think we've said enough.
Do you think he gets quick time one of the 2 nights? Because Knoxville's a little bit different. I mean, Brian Brown is a very good quick timer at Knoxville. I wouldn't throw out Austin McCarl. I don't want to give stuff away early, but just in terms of qualifying, that's a big deal. And we'll have split, so we'll see what happens. But what do you think?
I guarantee he's top 3 both nights.
There you go.
Took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say the same thing.
I think he could even get a late pill draw and still go top 3 the way they've been qualifying.
I was looking, I didn't put down the average where the best starting positions were. Gravel is the best. I think he averages 3rd in qualifying. But a surprise, granted, it's only been 4 starts, but Tanner Holmes is 8th average starting position at Knoxville in just 4 starts, which that's pretty good. I know 4 starts is 4 starts, but
I believe he will be out here too.
Split. Yeah, I assume they'll be out here.
I don't know if it's the 21, but I think the 18T might be what they're bringing out. But he's been very impressive this year.
He has been. So I'm going to go with Logan Schuchart and Carson Macedo. I think Logan can break through. Obviously has been both who have won here. Again, this is dating back to 2017. Shout out to Justin Fiedler and Dirt Tracker for helping out with these a little bit. So since 2017, Macedo's made 28 starts at Knoxville, average finish of 8.2, and he has 3 wins. I think, he's there. You just can't count him out. It's either hit or miss sometimes at Knoxville, it feels like, but I definitely think he could be one that could win it this weekend. And then Logan Schuchart, 7.3 average finish, 33 starts. I didn't put his wins on here, but he's got a couple. The prelim night victory, obviously. He's won the Cappy. So I definitely think that style of track can fit them, and I'm excited to see what happens. I could have gone gravel, could have gone Brad Sweet, could have gone Donnie Schatz. So we'll see what happens. But I'm excited. I'm curious to see what Donnie will be like not in a Ford here at Knoxville again.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that?
I mean, he already won the Nationals in a Ford. So going back to the Chevy, we'll see. He hasn't been back under the hood for a while. So, Kade, I don't think you've ever ran a Ford before. How
No.
What are some of the, I guess, take us behind the curtain a little bit as much as you know about that whole situation. How big of a change is that for teams when you're going through different motors like that?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, Donnie struggled with it pretty hard when they first got it, and then I mean he got decent with it, but he was never typical Donnie fashion, like dominating and winning all these races and just kicking ass like he always does. But the Rudine car switched to Fords too, and then it like never slowed them down really when they switched. So I was kind of up in the air, and you saw Matt's, and I think he was running a Ford when he was with TSR, and that dude was just unstoppable.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say. I mean, I think everybody gets a little bit different program out of it. I don't really know for sure. Obviously, like you said, I don't have one, don't really plan on getting one, but if one fell in my lap, I probably wouldn't say no. But like you guys are saying, I look to see Donnie being back in Donnie fashion when he gets to Knoxville, and I really hope to see it.
And I know, Justin, you mentioned Dirt Tracker a little bit while ago. Like he mentioned that recently too. They lost Ricky Warner around that same time too. That's a couple big time changes. So that couple curveballs at you at the same time is probably, after you've been doing a certain program for so long, it's probably tough to kind of get up to speed with the new thing. And yeah, I'm excited. I want to. It's always good. Sprint car racing is in a great place when Donnie Schatz, is competing for the win every night.
Yeah, and I was thinking about this back in February. That 360 weekend, those 3 straight races were all won by a Ford, and that was Justin Peck who went out and won all those races for Rudine Racing. So it was like immediately everyone's thinking, well, if that speed showed up at Volusia, I know February is a long way from August, but it's like if they run the 360 Nationals, how are they not a favorite based off what you've seen in a 360 engine? Because they smoked the field. Like it wasn't even close. So I'd be curious. I think it'll be interesting to see how it travels through and what we see. It's a long way from now. Who knows if Justin Peck will even run a 360 again this summer until they get to Nationals. But I don't know. So in that case, Kade, if one fell on your lap for a 360,
there you go.
Yeah, try it.
I also wouldn't say no.
Well, there you go. Dark horse guys. What do you think, Josh? You got 3 on here. 3 good ones.
Yeah. You covered one of them, Logan. He was one of mine for all the same reasons. We've seen him run, I think, a couple times now from the back couple rows at Nationals and compete for a podium or even a win there few years ago. And just the way that they've looked this year. I mean, they look like a completely different team. And I believe he has a dedicated crew chief now, which seems to potentially be helping get him up to speed there. But another guy that has been really good to start the season out on the road against some really good competition with high limit and knows his way around the Knoxville Raceway is Austin McCarl. That 88 team, I know that they've been branching out more this year, and they look prepared. They look very ready to go up against the upper level, high limit World of Outlaws. Both are, obviously, like we've said, are going to be there this weekend. So I do look to see them up front. Same thing with Gio Scelzi. They been a little bit more kind of a roller coaster ride, definitely after Nationals. Kind of could say that was the peak of his season last year when he won his the prelim night, and that's a reason as well. He's shown in the last year that he can win at Knoxville, and he looked good on Saturday as well. But Kyle Larson, enough said. So I think that could be a good chance for Gio to kind of get back on the up and up with his deal as well.
Yeah. It is worth noting, we don't know, but it is Easter weekend, the week that the Outlaws will be here. Kyle Larson might be here. We don't really know. I don't think he will be, but there is a chance. So, I mean, we'd all say Larson if it was here. In 20 starts, he has an average finish of 3rd since 2020. So, insane. But Gio's a great pick. Has a win earlier this season with the Outlaws. With his cowboy hat, so that was nice. And these guys want to show out for the Iowa sponsors. That's an Iowa guy. I know we always make the joke that we claim everybody that comes here, but it's like in a way, it's just kind of that nice. Yeah, you're an Iowa guy.
He lives here now, I think, too.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
lives in Altoona, I think.
Yep.
So
he's an
not
Iowa guy
quite-
now.
Yeah,
Sorry, Callie.
not quite across the road like Kade is, but that's just kind of how it goes. I say that because Tony will say that every week. He's like, "It's a man across the street. It's Kade." Which I will not be using that nickname or any nickname. I don't really do nicknames a ton. Anyway, so I'll go with my dark horses. I got Brent Marks for one of them. It's a different pick, but Brent has been consistent this year with high limit through the first couple weeks. New paint scheme on that thing. It's been the same paint scheme for years, so they finally changed that up a little bit. But he's a winner, former winner here at Knoxville. If you remember that summer where he was on a heater, like out of nowhere, he won that big race at Eldora, and then he started on the pole and won the Knoxville race. I think Brent Marks could be interesting. Emerson Axum. I really like what Emerson Axum can do. We saw it last year at Knoxville. I mean, this kid, he was good. I mean, just very well put together. 3 starts with the Outlaws since 2020 here at Knoxville, just an average finish of 14th. But I like what he brings to the table. I think if he can have a good start to the night, I think he sets himself up well. And then Brian Brown. Have to go with Brian Brown. He had won the last 3 summer races leading up to last year. He didn't win one last year at Knoxville, but before that, he had won 3 straight summers, the summer shows, the June shows at Knoxville. I'm telling you, man, he's going to get, I'd expect top 3 qualifying one of the 2 nights, if not both. Now, granted, it's the first year, it's the first night of the season. This hasn't happened in a while. So maybe everybody's more at a level playing field. Whereas when they come here in June, you see the regulars have a little bit of a step up because they've been there and they've been here a little bit longer. But yeah, I like Brian Brown to get something going here. He's had flashes to start the season. That's for sure. Kade?
I took a little bit deeper dive than you guys. The first person I thought of when I thought of this was JJ Hickle. Teaming up with Matt Morrow this year. They got very good equipment. His 410 stuff seems to be really fast. The 360 stuff is obviously fast. I know they got Giles driving that, but same program. And JJ is just an animal. The guy does not quit. He's a guy that I kind of think of like myself, has to grind through everything, and that's a great opportunity for him. And I really hope they have a really good showing right off the bat and get rolling and contend for that Knoxville championship. I know he can do it. He's just got to get rolling in the right direction. And like we talked about earlier, build that confidence up and just get to that level of feeling like you're unstoppable. And then my next 2, they're guys that I've raced a couple times. They're old local guys that are now starting to branch out. We know one of them's on the Outlaw tour now, and one's just kind of doing a true Outlaw deal. But I got to go with Garet Williamson and Caleb Johnson. Those 2 are both really good race car drivers and have very, very, very good equipment now. I know last year I ran second to Caleb in the B one night before 360 Nationals, and then we were both on the front row the next weekend. So and then he ended up winning the prelim night.
Yeah.
So they've both proven that they can do it. Garrett's off to a really good start this year. Caleb's starting off a little bit slower, but I don't look to see that stay when they get back to Knoxville and kind of get back on their home turf and some stuff that they know they at least have a book behind them. But yeah, those are mine.
The Dennis
buttering
Gainey
up the guest. I see how it goes.
Dennis Gainey fleet will be out in full force. No, that's awesome. Good picks. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be a fun week ahead. If you can't make it this week, the World of Outlaws are back on June 13th and 14th for the Premier Chevy Dealers Clash. But come every week to Knoxville. Outlaws or not, it's going to be a great season. Going to be a little bit smaller of a 410 field like Kade had talked about. I expect a strong 360 field. I think it's going to be a really strong 360 field. And again, we'll talk all about the season preview next week. And also don't forget the Mile Long Bridge is closed. It's a sad time, but the Mile Long Bridge is closed north of Knoxville on Highway 14 for the entire racing season. So yeah, Kade, that kind of hurts you. Where are you going when if you got to go to Des Moines? Are you just going to go up through Pleasantville, or how's that affect you?
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, you ain't taking Pelham around.
No.
That's going to catch some teams off guard, because there's going to be teams that still show up and be like, what in the world? Why is this bridge out? But
it's always something. It seems like it's normally like around Nationals time, but they're just doing the whole damn thing for the whole year. So At least we don't have to get a surprise around nationals. It's just you get the surprise for the first week.
Yeah.
And that I think part of Main Street's still closed. So,
Yep.
just a heads up. So it's just how it goes. That's just construction in Iowa. So, well, gentlemen, we have Garet Williamson coming on next. So I think we should bring him in and see what happens.
Let's do it.
That's our preview. Let's talk to Garet. Garet Williamson has joined the podcast. He is currently tied for 9th in the World of Outlaws point standings. He is tied for 1st in Rookie of the Year standings. 13 features, 2 top 10s to his name here to start the 2025 season. Garet, thank you for joining us. First episode, first guest. I know you're so honored. You are coming off a golf outing to be with us here this evening. How's 2025, man? We got a lot of questions that we'll kind of go into a little bit, but I asked Kade about 2024, so I'll start kind of ask you about 2024 because we haven't really talked since then. Give us a recap on your 2024. You kind of branched out. You kind of did a little bit of what you are doing this year. Talk about last year.
Yeah, that was our plan going into it. It was a new team, as everyone knows, and like to start the year, we kind of planned on going to Florida, but as a brand new team, that kind of isn't feasible. We didn't really even get everything ready till almost February, just to build the team that they wanted and the race schedule we wanted, like the 80-plus schedule, and the amount of cars and spares you needed. I mean, to start the year, we didn't have a mule. All they had was a truck and trailer and 2 engines. So from, I guess, when that deal started, the middle of summer till February, I mean, we built a team that could run the Outlaws in just a few months, and really didn't happen until I'd say November, December is when really everything got started. We built everything and got a mule and engines and cars, so we really didn't get all the parts and pieces till February, and then that kind of led us into starting Texas with going down. I think our first race was Cotton Bowl last year. In the first few weeks, we pretty much sucked. We were horrible. I think I missed the show one of the nights. No, I think I made most nights at Cotton Bowl. Just wasn't very good. And then, just kind of was average. I think I tore up a car at, I don't know where we were at, Eldora, I think, early in the year. We finally had a good run going there and destroyed a car. And then, that was we weren't very good at the beginning of the year. We were kind of mediocre, and then busted out a win at Knoxville. And that kind of, I don't know, like started the year. I don't know what it was, but we got that win early in the year at Knoxville. And that was really good for just the team and just, I think the owners, they were actually on there that night. So that was big to start a whole new team. And then winning at Knoxville, I mean, Kade knows there's something different about winning at that place. I don't know how to describe it. I think everyone in the sport looks at that place and it's the pinnacle. Everyone wants to win there, just same as everyone out east wants to win at the Grove or Port, and every location has their spots. And for the Midwest or everywhere almost looks at Knoxville. It's like the Holy Grail. We have everything out here. So to win their school and to have them there for that was awesome. And we kind of got rolling there this summer, had some really good runs, picked up a couple wins at Houston, and then just a couple really good runs throughout the season with Outlaws, and ventured out, went out west. That was fun. I've been out west since, I don't know, like probably 2021 or 2022 with ASDS was the last time I was out there, so it's fun to go back out there and go to some new tracks and some previous tracks and kind of get ready for now this year, because that was our whole goal last year, was kind of just get ready to run the Outlaws. That was our plan, at least, to go try to do that the next year if everything fell into place, and thankfully it did, and here we are.
So talking about a couple new tracks, that kind of goes into one of my questions. Turn 1, lap 1 of hot laps at full speed to a new place that you have no idea what it is. Can you describe that? Is there a way to describe it? Is it trust in your car? Is it trust in your instincts? What is that like?
I guess it's just trust. And, I've always thankfully been surrounded by really good crew chiefs and just people around my race cars. So I think just trust, and then you just watch film. And I don't know, for me, I think the first year I raced was on the national tour, so I really never got used to being at one track. So I've always kind of bounced around from track to track and never got accustomed to, or I guess really until the last few years at Knoxville was the first time I've ever had anywhere, I guess, be home and run full season somewhere. So yeah, everywhere I go is always new, so I don't really get overwhelmed by it. I feel it's just another night somewhere else.
It kind of leads me into my question. One of my questions as well. I think you're talking ASCS in like
Yep.
2020 when you jumped out there.
Yeah.
So you kind of got a taste of a national or a little kind of super regional. I don't know how
Yeah.
you would describe it, but
Yeah.
so you had that in 2020. How has your rookie season here with the Outlaws, has that differed? Did it help you prepare you for that in a sense?
I don't
How
think
different?
that my rookie year with ASTS would have been the COVID year. I think it was 2021.
I think it was
I
2020
think was
from
it?
what I saw. Yeah.
I thought it. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I guess it's got away from me now. It was whatever the COVID year was. It was the last year ASCS went to California, but most of the races kind of got canceled that year. I feel like we only ran probably like 30 shows, so we didn't really get the sense of a full national deal. We traveled a little bit, but we had so many off breaks and just different things, so it was never really a grind. If you if that's understandable. It was never just every weekend we were somewhere new, which sucked because I was really looking forward to that year. I think we had a trip. We were supposed to go out east to Pennsylvania, and then that's when they still went out west up to Oregon. I think maybe even Washington still, and none of that happened. So that sucked, but it was what it was. Kind of changed the game for a lot of people.
Sure.
You went to Australia this winter,
Yeah,
summer
that was
in Australia.
yeah,
Talk about that. That's got to be so
yeah,
cool and so
yeah.
different. Explain that.
Yeah, Australia was, I think every race car driver, once you get to a point, that's kind of what you want to go do in your off season. You want to fill the void of not doing nothing. At least me, I want to race all the time and as much as I can. And I feel like I'm always playing catch up to most of the guys and just trying to get laps. So I've actually like this, I think 2021 or two, I had an Australian work for me, and I've had one work for me almost every year since. So I kind of just got the bugs from them. Everyone was always trying to get me to come over, and this year or this past year, I guess it kind of just worked out. There's enough of them around me that they all made a connection or got me out to someone. And yeah, the Gettigan family, I got put in contact with them and got to go. I think I went over there the middle of December and raced Speed Week and two other shows and came home for chill ball and then went back. I don't think I'll ever do that again. That was horrible. I thought the flight was going to be like, oh yeah, it won't be that bad, and it sucked. I guess maybe if you're first class you can like lay down, but oh, that was miserable. Like just sitting there. I don't do good sitting there that long, and it was not fun. The very last trip home wasn't as bad. The flight was like completely empty. Like every person in the plane had their own row, so that was cool. But the whole experience was sick. It was a lot of fun. I got to hang out with a lot of friends. I got to hang out with the Dunsney family a lot. Most of my buddy Corey's that have worked for me here, and just got to meet a lot of really cool people that I can get against. Met their whole crew. Got to spend a lot of time with them, and they were just super welcoming. The White family was super welcoming. We crashed at their place for I think the whole time we were there, the second time for Classic Week, and they took great care of us. So, yeah, and we ran, I've said fairly well, I guess, that the Classic. I think we ran 7th on Saturday and had the big run on our prelim. I don't know what it was, like 16th to 3rd or something. So that was cool. And that night, I really thought I had a shot to win if we had a yellow or something, and felt really good. So, yeah, we had a blast there. And I think that's on the schedule next year is to try to either at least go back for the Classic Week or go to Perth, one of the two, whatever I can find a ride, hopefully one of them presents itself.
Talk about some of the tracks, talk about the dirt, explain for a couple people, that listening that don't quite know Australian sprint car racing.
They just find the water truck and just dump the valve the whole way around the track. And if it starts to get dry, they just crank her up and fire up and let's get it fast and rough again. It's like just when the track starts to like widen out and get slick, when the drivers love it, they're like, oh, gross, this sucks.
So it's like California.
Yeah. It's like they would cry if it was, I think, the Classic, one of our prelim nights, it got like slick to the fence, and there were people complaining that it was dusty.
They never last in Ohio.
And I was like, I was going to say they would never last in Ohio. And like, I didn't pull a tear off like the whole A. It wasn't even dusty. So I don't know.
Man. We did have a question from Facebook. Callum Beveridge asks,
Yeah.
are you missing the Tim Tams down in Australia? You eat good food out there?
Yeah. So Callum worked on the car I raced. He worked for the Big Again family. He actually races the non-wing cars over there. I can't remember what they're called, but yeah, Callum's sweet. He's actually coming over for his first trip. He's coming to nationals this year.
That's awesome.
So yeah, Tim Tams are great. Their beer is great. I like don't drink beer here, but their beer over there is phenomenal. I don't know what's different, but it's great.
All right, Josh, what do you got for him?
I'm going to throw it to Kade. Kade, you've been
All
quiet. What fire away.
So you always hear the great debate of like PA versus Knoxville, who has the tougher weekly competition. Obviously, all of us Knoxville people say that we do.
Yeah.
Going from that to racing the Outlaws every single night that you race, what's the difference like competition wise, and what kind of surprised you as far as what you thought you were ready for and what kind of smacked you in the face?
I feel like last year kind of got me prepared for what this year is going to be, and we didn't go in with like expectations that it's just a cakewalk because I feel like for the most part my sprint car career has been with the top guys. I haven't ran I haven't really ran like just local shows somewhere, and if it was Knoxville, and I don't really count Knoxville's much of a cakewalk. I think everyone in the country knows that. So I've always ran, I feel like a national series or big event somewhere. So I think we kind of knew going into what it's just the level of the Outlaws is, I don't know how to describe it. It's like there's really no good explanation. Like you think, like I feel like a lot of the fans like will see the back runners of like the full-time Outlaw guys and think they're no good. But you take them anywhere and put them on a weekly show and they're going to run up front or win races every week. And it's just, that's the level like that Gravel, Mosquito, Sheldon, Buddy, Baylog, Logan, like it's just the top, not like there's just no, I don't know. There's no laps off. They don't make mistakes. And if you make a mistake, they're there for it. So it's just, the bar is raised to another level. And that's, I think we can compete on it some nights or some laps or half of a race or half of the night, but that's the next step for us as a team is being able to do it consistently night in, night out, no matter where we qualify, like late in the group or early in the group, you got to get out there and make a good lap no matter what. And that's what us as a team is really like not struggling, but that's what we're learning to do and do better right now.
And with that, kind of dovetails into my next question too. I know we're not really in the grind of the season yet, kind of starting and stopping a little bit here. But does it help boost the confidence a little bit coming back to Knoxville, a place that you guys have won at before, not necessarily going to it first time, trying to build a notebook or anything like that? What's it like to come back to Knoxville?
Yeah, these next 2 weekends I'm pumped for. I-55, I don't think our results show great there, but I've been in the dash. I think I've wrecked there twice, but both times I feel like I've wrecked there, we've been up front. So I think I can plan up a few things, and I think we can bang off a couple top tens, if not a couple top fives. I think we'll definitely have a car capable of it, and I think the field's going to be insane these next 2 weeks with high limit being off and no one's really ran around the Midwest. So I think these next 2 weeks are going to be really good for fans to watch. I think there will be the premier guys, and especially Knoxville. Everyone will go to Knoxville, and it's basically the Cappy. I feel like this week and the June weekend are two of the toughest shows to make. I mean, everyone in the country, I bet there would be 60-something cars at Knoxville, and got to qualify, and Knoxville's not the easiest place to get around. But yeah, I love coming to Knoxville. I feel like people have asked me that a lot, like, what's your home track? And I don't know if the Knoxville like locals or fans would agree, but that's what I would call home, and my home track is Knoxville.
I bet they would claim you. Yeah.
Yeah. We claim everybody.
Yeah. But yeah, I love Knoxville. I don't know what it is about it, but I went there for my first time in 2016 for the Nationals that Jason won, and just almost fell in love with it. So winning there and just everything we've done there, and just thankfully I've been not off the start. I was horrible there. I think I went there for a few local shows probably in 2021 and it sucked. I was horrible. Like, didn't make shows, ran in the back of the A. I was like, oh my God, I'll never figure this place out. And just something clicked. I think the Nationals in 22, we locked in and ran good. So I don't know, just something clicked there. But I love it. It's such a fun place to race at, especially when your car's good there. I don't think there's a more fun place to race at. If you're rolling good and your car's good, it's a blast.
I'll kind of branch that off into my next one too. I feel like you're a pretty realistic guy as far as expectations go. What were like your goals or your expectations going into your first Outlaw season? And I mean, like they said, we're still early in the year, but have you lived up to that?
I don't know. Rookie of the year is what the end goal at the end of the year is. I think that's kind of just a given, and I want to get my first Outlaw win. I think that's a huge check off the bucket list, or just in general. I think if you can click off an Outlaw win, I don't think the rest come easy, but it just kind of gets you over that hump and gets that off your shoulders. So I think an Outlaw win would be huge, and you can't ever take that away from someone. I mean, there's only just a select group that have won Outlaw races, and if you can beat the Outlaws, you beat the best in the country. So yeah, I think just get more consistent. I think we have done that this year, just compared to last year where we're at to now. I think we are way more consistent than that, and where we're running, it's not where we want to be, but it's a lot closer to what we need to be at, and so that's huge. I think just as a team, we've had leaps and bounds better than we were, just car wise, engine wise. It's our whole program, so it's another step. But that's what it's supposed to be. You know, our first year team, the second year team. You look at the elite teams like David and the 41 and the 49 with Brad, Sunshine, all those guys. You know, it's years on end. These teams keep building up, and it's not overnight success. Just like a stick and ball sport, you know, a team that can stay together wins championships, and that's what you got to try to strive for.
So you've been pretty successful at both, very successful at some. I got to ask you the question: are you a bull ring guy or a half mile guy?
Someone just asked me that the other day. I was with DMJ actually. Someone asked me that, and he said, "What did he say?" I think he said bull ring. And I think I would agree with him on that, especially to start my career. I hated big tracks. And then I don't know if it was Knoxville or just some of the other big tracks we went to. We were really good. I just started loving big tracks. So I don't know what it is. If you give a good bull ring, slick or hooked up, I don't know. It just depends. If you can just get up on the wheel and it's a racer's track and just multiple lines, I feel like that's where we strive and roll good at. I don't know. That's a tough question. I don't even know if it necessarily matters big or small. I think it's a racer's track. I think that's what it kind of matters, is what I really enjoy, and just leave it in our hands and let us do what we're supposed to do.
You mentioned DMJ.
That's the cool thing about. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kade.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you mentioned DMJ. I don't think you guys were together this year after last season, right?
Yeah.
People around Knoxville definitely know the name Dennis Moore Jr. What kind of an impact did he help? Did he bring to kind of getting that team going and just kind of your early career here?
I think he kind of put me on the map. It's real. I don't know. I think he kind of put me on the map. I feel like I was just kind of the end of, I guess, the year before was like 2023. The middle of the summer of 2023, I kind of was on my own crew chief. It was me, Cam, my girlfriend, which is his daughter, and then Corey, which is an Australian that I was talking about. It was us three going to races all around the country. We had no bit, I was running the engine maintenance, and I had no idea what I was doing. I had notes in my phone, like on the notes app, of how to run valves, like do this, check. It was stupid. Sorry for my language, but it was not smart at all. But we did it. We never did anything wrong, never tore anything up. We actually won, I think, 2 shows. Won an Outlaw heat race, put in the dash with Outlaws for the first time, all by ourselves. And it was just, if I had questions, I'd call more. So after that, I was like, dude, I've got to figure out how we can work together. And then that happened. We went to Charlotte. We were really good at Charlotte. Put it in the dash. There, qualified good, and then blew up the last night. Didn't make the show because we didn't even have another engine to put in. And then that led us into the 2024 season, and I think the rest was kind of history. We popped off the first 360 win the same night we ran podium with Outlaws, and that kind of was just like put me on the map. I feel like that was kind of like the big Kickstarter of my career. That kind of like, that started everything, and then after that, it's kind of just been trying to keep relevant.
I can't believe now knowing. So you finished podium with the Outlaws, and it was just the Three Musketeers, pretty much.
No, the Outlaw podium was with Dennis. That was last year.
That one was
the year before. All that was just 3 of us. We won some Sky Invader shows, won at Lakeside in the heat race with Outlaws, and then he kicked a rocker rolling out for the A, ran the dash, rolled out for the A, fired off, and kicked a rocker. So that sucked. But yeah, that we won at Dodge City. It was just us. We couple shows. It was just us three. Just no idea what we were doing. We just roll around the rig and wherever we wanted to go, we just went for the weekend. It was sick. I wouldn't trade like that's like I miss that. That was just a different time of my like. I look back on that. There's just do whatever. Like there's no expectations. That was really enjoyable for what we were doing, and it was just kind of we ran our own show, and that was something I'll never forget. It was great memories, and just something I'll always cherish those few months of racing.
I know the simple answer is probably just have to run better here, but you mentioned the podium with the Outlaws in 23. Last year probably wasn't what you guys were looking for with the Outlaws, not with the Nationals, but what's it going to take to get back on the podium?
I think qualifying. I feel like that's what we did good that night. I feel like that's really the key anytime now is to run up front with Outlaws. You have to qualify. You don't really see the big runs from deep in the field to get on the podium anymore. It's just how close everyone is and how good everyone is. You have to qualify good and then heat race good. Then draw up front of the dash is just as important. And I haven't done that worth of crap this year. So not that that's in my control, but I think it goes back to you just have to put yourself in the position of being the dash more, and it just comes with that. So yeah, just gotta put her in the show or put her in the dash, and then just kind of the rest is up to my hand and see if I can draw something good out of it.
How tough is that too? Going in with the format, that you have to qualify well, or it sets you behind. Like how tough is that to balance? Not going out there and just driving over your head and really screwing the night up, but then not going hard enough.
It's especially like Knoxville. Those 2 laps at Knoxville, everyone knows what they mean. They're so hard, and then just a shake of the wheel, just a twitch or anything at that place is a few tenths, and that difference of the top 10 or the 20th and back. It's like you go look at qualifying times now, and they're a few tenths and sometimes hundredths of just difference. So it's just so difficult. Everyone's stuff's so good right now, and that's the difference of having a good night and a mediocre night.
Got anything, Kade, Blake? So you guys stewing over there.
I thought you still had Kade. Still got a question that you wanted to ask.
Yeah, Kade, are you ready for the year?
Yeah, finally.
Finally. Who's are you gonna run 360 and some 410 stuff, or?
Yeah, we're gonna do both weekly. I'm running my stuff 360. Weekly. Yep, and then Van Der Ecken's 410.
That'll be fun. That'll be good. That pays good too. I love doing that. There's nothing better than that. Who's the 360 and 410 guys? Like, what do you think are the guys to beat for both classes? That's a question for all you guys, I guess.
Josh, go ahead.
Well, you're stealing our thunder for next week. We're gonna do a preview. We might have to bring you back here, so we can't give it all away. But
it's been a big topic for me, and I don't know. I don't even know. I think Chatty, my crew chief, I was talking to him about it. I was like, I don't even know. I feel like it's really open this year for anyone to have a big year and make really good money.
Well, a lot of guys still don't really know who's officially going to be there. Like we kind of have an idea, but someone I think to watch 410 wise is probably Kerry if he's going to be there every week.
Yeah.
When they're good, and he's won championships there before, so that's a guy. I mean, if Kade can put a whole night together, he's shown that he can win there.
Yeah.
And I think he could challenge Jamie for the 360 and pro sprint. Mayberry.
That was another question.
Yeah,
is Jamie running 360 for points? Does anyone know, or 410?
I guess I don't know for sure. I just kind of assumed.
Yeah, I'm not.
Same.
I'm not sure. We talked about Carl. I think would be 410. I think that'd be a really interesting bet. 360s there'll just be more. I mean, there's just more 360s this year. I'd clump top 3. You'd go Kade, not just because he's here, but Kade, Clint Garner, and I think Jamie Ball right there. And then then you just you can move through the field. I mean, Jack Anderson's going to run a 410, so I mean that takes him out. But Tony Ross, getting a little bit better. I mean, T-Mez is going to run a 360.
Yeah, I've seen that.
You just don't know. I mean, So I don't know. I think
Oh,
this
Hick will be
year,
good in Moro
yeah,
car. Hick will be
Hickle.
really good in that car.
The
Yeah.
Phillips boys too.
Yep. Yeah,
yeah,
obviously the Philip boys.
they, it's awesome to see Aaron and Brian and Austin. It was awesome to have them here, but it's
Yep.
awesome to see them move on, and then it just opens the field up. I mean, it's
Yep.
like, especially Aaron, we were talking about the 360. Wrights will come back and he just dominate. It's a 360
Yep.
win every single week. His schedule is tightened up. He's not going to be here every week for a 360.
Yep.
So then it kind of, frees itself up.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it is, and we've always known it. It's one of the best weekly local racing points ever. I mean, it's just in the country, it is one of the best. I mean, McCarl
100%.
and Reitzel, that was down to the last race last year.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
I definitely think it's right up in the air and how we go about it.
Yeah, I think this year, like last year, there's a ton of first-time winners, and I feel like this year it's probably going to be even more with the guys that are gone, and just there's not one guy I feel like that's going to just kick everyone's butt.
Yeah,
I feel like it would be good.
This is another question for you. You are in a time where you could be amidst a very dominating season by David Gravel. I mean, you see it every week. It's quick time almost every single time.
Yeah.
What is the sense around the work area? What's the sense around the Perry area? Is it we can't just let this guy beat us every damn week. It's like we got to keep getting better sooner or later. Is it making you guys better? Is it pushing you just to get there because he's on you guys?
Yeah, I think it's just like when Kyle comes and runs, everyone wants to up their game because no one wants to see us just get beat every week just by pure dominance. And David's on just an insane run right now. So I mean, you can't take like that. They deserve that. Like they're look what that program's done. He's put in the time, and him and Cody and Zach. I mean, just what they've dedicated and how much they put their head down. I mean, they're here, and everyone's got to try to match that, and everyone's just a step behind right now. And I don't think there's a team in the pit area that's not trying. They're just one step ahead right now. But it drives me nuts. You see on Twitter all the time, oh, the Outlaws are boring. Dave wins every week. It's not even good competition. It's like, no, he's just that good. Like, if he would, the high limit guys ran with him, he would do the same to them right now. I have no doubt about that. Like, they're just on that. Like, they're just on the next level right now, and everyone's got to catch that. And I feel like people are just everyone I don't know. I just look at Twitter quite a bit, and everyone just is first to just knock the crap out of the Outlaws. It's just so frustrating. Like, that would, like, obviously maybe I'm biased, but it's not as bad. Like, I don't know. It's just kind of frustrating to see, like, both series that are just have really, really good race car drivers, but everyone's just the first to kind of jump on the Outlaws' neck.
Right.
Like, even like both series went it out the other week, and Outlaws just got thrashed for it. And high limit, oh, great call. Like, I get 81 was through the night, and I feel like it probably should have been called sooner, but we think they tore up race cars, which sucked. But in the end, they still made the right call. We shouldn't have went out there for the A. I wish we didn't go out there to start the night, but still, it's just frustrating to see stuff like that. People have no idea, and they just love to bash a series, and it would be upsetting one day when one of them is gone again.
And the teams and within reason for safety, of course. But the team and the teams in series want to race. You guys don't just get on the road and drive all those miles to show up and go home. Like,
we didn't drive there, run half the night, and be like, we don't even want to do this anymore. Let's go home. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. Especially drivers. We're the last people that want. Like, we don't get paid if we don't finish the night. Like, I promise you, none of us want to just load it up and go home. But I don't want to go out there if I can't race and to my ability, or if I'm just got to drive around, just kind of follow the leader. Like, none of us want to do that. So.
Right. And speaking of going up and down the road too, what are some tracks that you are looking forward to that you haven't been to so far?
That I haven't been to, Canada would be cool. I'm excited to go out to Pennsylvania again. I went out there in the Gainey car, and that was not a one-off deal, but just not that was my home office, sitting in that seat. Like, I hadn't really got comfortable, so I'm excited to go back there and my own stuff. If you like the 23 car, I'm comfortable in it, so I'm excited to go back there and that. And see, where else do we go that I haven't really been this year? Hopstop will be cool. I guess. I don't
This
know.
is the best 3-week stretch. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
Jacksonville, whoever made Jacksonville and Hobstadt back-to-back nights was
Yeah.
genius. That is so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. And so far the weather looks good for Knoxville. So if we get these next 3 weekends in, that'll be a statement itself to get these 3 weekends in. You said new tracks. So I don't know. And Arizona, that'll be good. All the tracks out there are really good. I've only went to that one that's closed down now. Central Arizona Speedway, maybe. That place was cool, but obviously it's closed.
That one, Central Arizona was High Limit was there a couple weeks ago.
One of them's closed now, but it's kind of similar. I feel like videos I've seen is kind of close to the one that we go to now. Obviously, I'm pumped to go back to Huset's. I love Huset's, and we go good there.
You didn't get to celebrate your win last time there.
That was 2 years. That was my first Huset's. That was my first sport. That was my first 410 one, actually. Yeah, what a kicking the balls that was.
I remember that because it was like he won, and then the skies just opened.
Yeah, literally, like the checkered hit. I'm rolling around, like getting ready to pull in, and just pouring. I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Like, don't get to do nothing."
I'll take my ball and go home.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, we did. We just loaded it up.
At least the check's still cashed.
Yeah, that was fine with me. Just hung out in the toter with the boys and celebrated that one. But that was different for your first 410 win. That's not really what you want. But if it's an outlaw win, I don't care what happens. You can just give it to me however they come.
We need the rain to stay away from Huset's this year. Unfortunately, it looks like it's nailed Paducah. Like all of Paducah's underwater.
I wish we went there this year. That Paducah track.
That's an awesome track.
Yeah, that place was thick. I think there was something with the track safety or something, which is good. I'm glad that we are doing stuff for that, but there's still some tracks we go to. I'm like, I want to go to Marshalltown. That place looks sick.
Oh my gosh. They got to add a little bit more on the walls, but I think
what you see some of these tracks we go to don't have, so I don't know if I buy that.
They raced in almost 30-degree temps last week. They did not care. Have
they ever ran like 410s or anything there?
Don't think
not that I know of.
They're putting dirt on Hawkeye Downs. I don't know if you heard that. They're putting dirt on Hawkeye Downs. They're gonna try that for Sprint Invaders. So
nice. Sprint Invaders go to some sick racetracks.
Wow.
I did miss the 360 stuff with them. They go to some really, really cool. Like you wouldn't even know these places in Iowa, and you just show up there and they're sick. What's Dubuque? I think is that one that's really cool.
Yeah, that place is pretty badass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they go to some really cool racetracks that I wish got some more love by the 410 series.
Cade, you're at Stewart. I know. Have you raced there before? I assume.
No, never.
No.
Stewart's cool. I think that I went there. That was that place at the one-off 410 show 2 years ago. They were in Gary's car.
I don't know if they had a 410 show or not. I guess I didn't pay that close attention.
I think it was 2
years. The
years.
Invaders went there 2 years ago, and then they got rained out last year.
It's off of maybe 80. Is it off 80 or something?
It's like on the way to Omaha.
Houston. Yeah, I've been there. It's sick.
I watched the Doorbanger shows there.
There's so many hidden gems. I mean, you could go Vinton, you could go Tipton. I mean, there's so many. Boone, I mean, and that's a late model track, but it's like you just never know.
Gotta keep them around. Too many of them are closing down. Gotta keep them.
I was going to ask, I wonder this when we always have guests on. You and Kade ever had a run-in at Knoxville?
I don't think so.
We haven't really raced together that much.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Wouldn't be that much. Have you had any run-ins this year on the tour?
With anyone? Not really.
Stayed clean.
No. Yeah, I feel like I race fairly clean. I don't know. I feel like if you ask people, they would say that. I don't think. No, nothing like that's really just got me stirred up. Just normal stuff. I'm sure it'll come.
Season's still young.
Yeah.
Plenty of time.
No, that's awesome. It's been fun to watch you, man. Where were you when you went from like 5th to 2nd in the heat race in one corner?
Cotton Bowl.
Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah, that was good. That was cool. Our night I thought was over after qualifying. We went out late, and that place it just falls off really bad in qualifying, and so I just left the door open. I was like, oh, sweet, I'll take it. That place can be really cool. It just tends to rubber up. The second night, we actually rolled pretty good there. Yeah, I think we went like 18th or I don't know, deep to like 7th or something. But it just gets like gut slick.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the tracks we're going to just coming up. I feel like we're finally going to some good race tracks that are you just know will race good or you'll be able to race. I feel like to start the year, you're kind of you just try to get through them. Like they're really not. They're just hit or miss. I feel like you never know what you're going to get. But the tracks you're coming up through, you kind of just know you'll get some good racing. You'll get to drive a race car.
You want to? I know people are going to ask. You want to talk about what's on your wall? You got a couple helmets, and I see Husit's, and then what else you got back there?
I can start this way. I got some Knoxville wins, Rookie of the Year one, Husit's one, or both my Husit's one. That one's from, I think that was my first Husit's win. The Knoxville first win, that one's special. I'll show you a car. That was my first, actually, no, I didn't win Knoxville. That's my first Knoxville win helmet, I think. Just some old helmets up there. Both my Knoxville first wins are up there. And yeah, just some cool trophies that I like. Some checks from Knoxville, just like Kade. Kade has a couple. I think they're worth the price of gold. I don't care what's the number on them. Just winning at Knoxville's, you can't take that from anyone.
They don't just give them away.
No,
Unfortunately.
no, they don't. I'd win a foot race there and still be excited to make the right hand turn into that place.
Yeah. I'd still lose that too.
Yeah, I'd probably pick something better than a foot race.
Well, Garrett, appreciate you joining us.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we'll have to check back in at the end of the season, see how things have gone for you. Best of luck. This will air after I-55, so best of luck at I-55 this weekend.
Yeah,
and
hopefully, maybe a win or something. That'd be cool. I'm just thinking, I need to get on iRacing. I need to get on iRacing and destroy Blake.
Yeah, you got to do that.
Yeah,
hey man, 21st, be there.
We are. There's going to be an iRacing League, Knoxville Knights iRacing League. If you're,
what is that? Is that 2 weeks?
Yeah,
the week after Knoxville.
The weekend after the Monday after Knoxville. So.
Yep.
I'll be home, so maybe is it 360 or 410s?
We're running 410s.
Oh God, I really might destroy someone.
We got a couple of actual drivers signed up. Cale Thomas signed up. There's a couple guys signed up.
I only run midgets on iRacing, but I might have to go burn some laps on a 410 and I'll show up.
There you go.
Someone's got to run. Yeah, someone's got to run last, so I might as well do it.
Love it.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be fun.
Good luck, man. The rest of the year.
Good luck.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you coming on.
A blast.
Yep. Take care, man.
Sweet.
This is it for the first show, guys. Make sure you follow us at Knoxville Knights on Facebook and Instagram, at Knoxville Knights with no O on Twitter or X, and make sure you tune in to Dirt Vision and watch Garrett and the rest of the World of Outlaws for 2 nights coming up Friday and Saturday.